let me ask you a couple of questions. Have you ever had to make a really hard decision? And once you've made that hard decision, you felt some relief. That's exactly how I felt after the breakup. Now, the breakup happened on the 2nd of September this year, 2021, COVID Central. When I think about it, it was actually a long time coming. For a long time, there'd been this low-level anxiety that I didn't really know even existed until I'd made the decision to break up. But what I'd found myself wondering was every day kind of thinking, should I be doing this? Should I be doing that? Oh God, I've done that. And that all contributed to this low-level anxiety. We also didn't share, I've come to realise, values. And that really had an impact on how I was showing up. And it wasn't necessarily the kind of person I wanted to be. So as I said, 5 p.m. on Friday, the 2nd of September, the breakup happened. I sent the email. There was a bit of preparation to do before I did that, because you can't just simply go and break up. There's always things that you need to organise. And so I made sure I did that. They weren't expecting it because not many people would break up for the reasons that I broke up. They even offered me 30 days to change my mind, but I knew I wasn't going to. So at 5 p.m. on Friday, the 2nd of September, 2021, I broke up with my social media. I broke up with Facebook, I broke up with Instagram, and I broke up with LinkedIn. Now, a friend said to me, and we all need these friends, Nicole, have you actually thought about possibly leaving your LinkedIn? And I said, yep, I have thought about it and I'm going to delete it. And after I made the decision, I felt really peaceful. But this decision didn't start on the 2nd of September. If you were with me a week earlier, you'd have seen me writing in my journal. I was writing in my journal because for quite a while I'd been asking the universe, a higher power, source, whatever you'd like to call it, to really help me align my business and show up in a way that just feels really, really good for me. Because I believe that at the very, very core, unless we're doing life on our terms, we're not really succeeding. And this idea came to me. And this idea was, get off social media. And I was like, oh, that's a big one. And why was it a big one? Because how many millions/billions of people are on social media? And as somebody with a business, it could be thought that it was a little bit of suicide to actually remove myself from those platforms when my goal is actually to grow my business. But an interesting thing happened. I sat with it. The messages I had been getting from the universe in response to my question about how can I continue to live in even more alignment with what's important to me and bring what I want to bring out into the world. I wrote in my journal the following day, what would I do if I wasn't afraid? The answer came like that. And the answer was, I'd get rid of social media. Now that's a really interesting word that I paid attention to. I wouldn't just delete it. I wouldn't just say goodbye to it. I wouldn't just get off it. I actually wanted to get rid of it. And I allowed myself to just sit with that feeling as if I'd already made that decision, and I felt really calm. And I know from personal experience, when I'm feeling like that, the decision is right. It's not always easy, but it's right. So Friday, 5 p.m, the email went, which was really hitting the goodbye button for each of them. What did that do for me? The next day, I woke up feeling really, really peaceful. My energy has shifted. It's come back to me. My world has become more meaningful, because in this world of connection, we have never had more disconnection in this world. So I brought it back to me, because in my business, that's how I want to show up and that's how I want to live my life. So what does this mean? Getting off social media may not be your thing, but what is something that you have felt the need to do, or felt the desire to do, and perhaps you haven't done it? Something's been stopping you. There's that little bit of fear because the unknown is on the other side. But what if everything you wanted was on the other side of that decision that you'd make, allowing you to have everything you want? It's unlikely to be coming all at once, but if you don't take that first step, is it actually possible to get everything you want? Or is it really just settling for what makes us comfortable? And that's a really, really valid question. So as things are coming to us, ideas, thoughts, because one thing that really happens is that we're so good at asking for what we think we can get, not what we really want. And what does that look like? It means taking the pay packet that's not necessarily what you want. It means having a relationship that's not full of the love and the passion that we want. It means having a business whereby we're playing small because we think that asking for things will make us look selfish, asking for things will make us look self-absorbed. But really, what this world needs is for us to be stepping in, stepping up, and stepping through those things that scare us in order to have everything that we really want. Problem that I see quite often is making decisions from a place of fear versus a place of strength. What does that look like? Feel it in your body. I'd like you to remember a time that you made a decision and you were just really sure you're going to go through with it. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I want. This is my next step. And how did that feel in your body? And I'd like you to remember a time where you perhaps made a decision from a place of uncertainty and a place of fear. They rarely turn out well. In fact, making decisions from a place of fear never turn out well. And the reason is because when we're making decisions from a place of strength, we have the power within inside us, the energy within inside us, that knowing, that certainty. And it may not be certainty about the outcome, but it's certainty in knowing that we need to take the next step. So coming from a place of fear or coming from a place of strength, that's a decision we can always make. And that's a decision that's always within our control. So let me ask you, what's a decision you'd like to make if you weren't afraid? And quite often I'll see on Facebook, when I was on it, people asking the question, what would you do if you weren't afraid? And I actually think that's a wrong question. I like to ask, what would you do even if you knew you couldn't fail, you would still do it anyway? Because that's the part of us that knows exactly what we want. That's the part of us that's here to show up in our business, in our career, in our relationships. And that's the part of us that knows. So how can you tap into that part of you that's always present, that's always in support of you, that's always got your back, so that those things that you want can come into your existence. Because I believe this is what the world needs more of. This world needs more of people, all of us, showing up from that place of strength, that place of desire, that place of knowing that there is something that's meant to be coming into our world and we have the power to create it. So a decision made from fear is never the right one. Tuning into our bodies to let us know what's right, what's not right, and actually having the courage to believe and to know that if we take that step, the next one will reveal itself. I don't know about you, but quite often I've felt that I needed to know step 429 before I could take step 1. And all that does is keep us small. And all that does is prevent us from achieving what it is we want in this lifetime. And we really only get one shot of it. So the first thing is choosing fear, to make decisions from a place of fear or a place of strength. Another C word is conditions. What are the conditions that you're living under right now? Are the conditions ones that are actually supporting you? People in your life that are supporting you? Thoughts going through your head that are supporting you? An environment that supports you? And this carries through for all areas of our life. In our business, our career, our personal lives, our social lives, our meaningful relationships. What are the conditions in our environment that actually allow us and the people around us not just to grow, but to actually thrive? Because we need to be planting our own garden and we need to be nurturing it, we need to be watering it, and we need to be coming from a place of taking full responsibility for what we want to show up. And once you've created the conditions for things to flourish, then it's a really fantastic place because we're in a place of control. We can come from a place of certainty. If something's not working, we can change it. And so, what are the conditions present in the various parts of your life? What are the things that set your soul on fire? What are the things that dull your light? Because the beautiful part about life is that every day, in every moment, we get an opportunity to shift. Now, I'm going to put a torchlight on your table or whatever you have in front of you right now. And I'd like you to imagine that the room you're in is dark. And I'd like you to pick up your torch and I'd like you to shine it 90 degrees to your left. And I'd like you to notice what you see. Now I'd like you to turn your torch and I'd like you to shine it 90 degrees to your right. And I'd like you to notice what you see. I'd also like you to notice that you cannot see 90 degrees to your right while you're looking 90 degrees to your left. It's impossible. And that's what it is with focus. We get to choose what we focus on. And if we can assume that 90 degrees to our left is the things that we don't want in life, and 90 degrees to the right are the things that we do want in life, we get to choose where we shine our torch. And even if you were shining it right in front of you and you're trying to get out of the room, you get to decide, shine it that way. Oh, there's something in front of me. I need to shine it the other way. That's exactly how life works. We get to choose where we put our focus and we get to choose what conditions we allow to be around us so that we can actually move forward, feel good in the present moment, know that we're actually moving towards something that's meaningful and purposeful, and we're actually able to create it. And if you're not right there now, and there's challenges A saying that I absolutely love is that after every winter, there comes a spring. And so, knowing that over the top of the mountain or the top of the hill that you're going up right now, there's a downside, an easy way, and a way of flow that also has to come up. Because the law of polarity states that everything in the universe has an equal and an opposite and exists at the same time. We can't have up without down. We can't have in without out. We can't have happiness without sadness. And when we can actually embrace all that and recognize that's part of our human experience, then we get to simply be with it, get off the treadmill of expectation, which I found can often be our inner expectations, our inner judgments. And how can we be kinder and more accepting so that as we're moving forward from a place of excitement, energy, things that are really going to make us feel alive rather than the things that actually deaden us. Because once we can become unconditional, we don't allow the conditions to determine how we feel. We don't allow conditions to determine how we react. We simply respond. And we come from a place in here that is stepping out into the world. That's not simply reacting and being blown around by the changing winds. We're coming from a place of groundedness, wholeness, and from a place of energy that's going to allow us to create the world we want to see. And I think that's needed more than ever right now. And that's the beauty of being able to show up every day in the way that means something to us. So we actually create the conditions to be successful. So what are the conditions surrounding you right now? Are they ones that are feeding you, or are they ones that are really challenging you? One of the things that I see is we often think that we need to take huge steps in order to create change. 1 degree can change a lot as we're moving forward. If we change the path we're on 1 degree, we will not end up in the same spot. So perhaps it's time to give yourself a break in recognizing that if we're not where we are, we know where we want to go. What's that 1 degree shift we can make in order to have what we want actually come that 1 step closer? Now, the final thing I'd like to talk about is another C word, which is completeness. We live in an outwardly focused world where everything's out there. Things are being done to us. We're at the mercy of our environment, our situation. We can be feeling powerless. But without a feeling of completeness, we can feel deficient, we can feel unworthy, we can feel not good enough, and we can feel needy. One of the things that stands out for me in the work that I do, and from my own personal experience, is that we need to be looking and giving to ourselves what we're looking outside ourselves for. Now, what do I mean by that? So often we're looking outside ourselves for permission, for validation, for acceptance, for compassion, for kindness, for love. And as we're looking outside of ourselves, we're actually coming from a place of illusion. We're coming from the illusion that we don't have those things within us. And we absolutely do. One time I was feeling quite unappreciated. I was just noticing how unappreciated I felt, and it didn't feel good. And then I had this little light bulb moment, And I asked myself, Nicole, where are you showing your self-appreciation? And in that moment, I realised I wasn't. What happened next? I gave myself that appreciation, and very soon after, my husband's appreciating me, my clients are appreciating me, other people are appreciating me, and not one thing changed externally. It just changed and shifted within me. And as soon as I gave myself that appreciation and I found it within, I no longer found it needed to find it without. And that's when it was actually able to find me. So how are and where are you giving yourself the things that you're looking outside yourself for? And one thing is just to notice it. The C word of curiosity is such a powerful word. Rather than sitting in judgment of ourselves for actually doing it and recognizing, oh my goodness, that's what I found. I found that, I'm asking all these people for things that I need to be giving myself. And what is the beauty of that? The beauty of that is that every day we're coming from a place of wholeness. Every day we're coming from a place of power. We're coming from a place of strength. And rather than looking for certainty out there, we create certainty in here. And when we create that certainty within, that then gives us the strength to make decisions, not from a place of fear, but a place of strength. It also allows us to create the conditions that are going to allow us to create what we want in life. And it's also going to create healthy relationships, because no longer are we sucking the energy from others. We're actually creating our own energy and bringing that to the world. What would your business look like showing up from that place where you're not asking anyone for anything? You're coming from a place of wholeness, completeness, strength, love, certainty. You don't need permission from other people. You don't need validation from other people. What would it be like to live from that place? And what would be available to you if you were living from that place? It's time to come home to ourselves. And in this outwardly focused world where we give our power away so very often, it's time to come home to ourselves, to give ourselves what it is that we need, and also recognizing it's already present. You know how they say we can be looking for love in all the wrong places? We can also be looking for all those other things in all the wrong places. Recognizing that what you are seeking is also seeking you. On the other side of that conversation that you're afraid to have is your next client. On the other side of that conversation that you're afraid to have is the next level in your business. That conversation or that next step on the other side of that thing you're afraid of is the relationship that you've always dreamed of. On the other side of that thing you're afraid of is the health you've always wanted to have so that you can live the life that you're meant to. At Growth to Success, we believe that success is personal. And we also believe that unless you're doing life on your terms, then you're not really successful. So I'd like to leave you with a request. What is it within you that's seeking to emerge? What is it within you that's looking to come into this world and express itself as a magnificent version of you? That's what this world needs. And it's a beautiful way to show up. It's an energizing way to show up. It's an inspiring way to show up. And having traveled the world and lived the experiences I have, meeting people from all walks of life, diverse backgrounds, I came away with 4 very simple beliefs. 1, we want to feel inspired. Number 2, we want to feel that we matter. Number 3, we want to feel that what we do matters. And number 4, we want to be happy. I believe that if we're able to tick those boxes, life's pretty good. Inspiration is never far away. No matter where we are, no matter how dark things might seem, inspiration is never far away. And you do matter, and what you bring to this world does matter. And when you know that, and when you believe that, and when you're engaging in things that allow you to feel that, life is good. So have an amazing holiday season, wherever you are. And I look forward to hearing the choices you've been making from strength and that desire that was within you waiting to emerge.